Cadillac Escalade dominates the full-size luxury segment, and the latest generation is amazing. I really love it. It's got all the technology, the luxury, the size. So how do you make an Escalade even better? Well, you put a supercharged 6.2-liter V8 in it and make the Escalade-V. This is the 2023 Cadillac Escalade-V. It makes 682 horsepower and 653 pound-feet of torque. By far the most powerful vehicle in the entire segment. 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds, quarter mile in 12.74 seconds at 110, which is crazy fast for something that weighs over 3 tons. This engine is an LT4 in name, but kind of related to the Blackwing V8 found in the CT5V Blackwing, but it's got a bigger supercharger. Actually, the 2.65-liter supercharger that would be shared with the LT5 from the C7 ZR1. Makes 10 pounds of boost. We have forged internals, titanium valves, everything to make this just an absolute monster. We're out in Arizona driving the all-new Escalade-V. I've spent about an hour and a half already in this vehicle, and I can tell you guys, it is a monster, a luxury rocket ship. 10-speed automatic transmission, full-time all-wheel drive, magnetic ride 4.0, air suspension. It has launch control. This thing is the size of a small apartment building and it has launch control. Utterly amazing. So, in terms of exterior styling, what has changed? Well, unique front fascia, everything is blacked out. The sportier iteration, so no chrome really on this thing at all. Different front fascia, which is functional for more airflow. Unique 22-inch wheels. We've got V badges on the side of the Escalade-V, and also a unique rear fascia with quad exhaust tips that's functional too. A dual mode active exhaust that when you go into V mode, it sounds absolutely insane. We're going to be hopping in the Escalade-V, driving it some more, talking about the interior, some of the technology, what is it like to drive, and lastly, the value. All right, ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh, that was just launch control in the Cadillac Escalade-V. Yes, this has launch control. We're on the road now and spending a lot of time driving the Escalade-V today out all around the Scottsdale, Arizona area. And we're heading up. There's some curvy roads we're actually taking this on, but while we're still on a relatively straight road for now, let's start with the interior. The interior of the Escalade-V is effectively the same as an Escalade Platinum, which is not a bad thing at all because the Escalade has one of the nicest interiors out there. The centerpiece, the showstopper, are these curved OLED screens front and center. They're industry first, curved OLED screens, over combined 38 inches diagonal screens, the deepest of blacks, the color contrast, twice the pixel density of like a 4K television. They're beautiful, curved and immersive, very well integrated. We have a small touchscreen on the left here that controls things like your trip computer. You can change with the center cluster showing from the regular gauge or your augmented reality camera, or this one's equipped with night vision or project a full map on the screen there. And then the infotainment screen, also another touchscreen with wireless CarPlay, Android Auto. It is very well done, and definitely one of my favorite parts of the modern Escalade. Continuing across the rest of the interior, you have nice leather, we've got some cool zebra grain wood finish there, and then the 36-speaker AKG sound system is one of the best sound systems in the industry. I remember the first time I was spending a week with an Escalade Platinum, I got home and just parked in my driveway and sat there enjoying the heated massage seats and the sound system playing some favorite songs of mine and just relaxing. It's one of the best, most immersive surround sound systems you can buy. 36 speakers is a lot. There's speakers in the headrest too. It's fantastic. The steering wheel here has a little V badge here. There's only a couple of subtle touches on the inside that indicate it's a V. Steering wheel badge, there's a little V logo on the left-hand side here, and then we have paddle shifters. The steering wheel also, because this one is equipped with Super Cruise, we have the display on the steering wheel itself that goes from red to green to blue. Green is when Super Cruise is active, the little camera that watches you, and then we have some metal paddle shifters here too. And then the other most important thing is there's a V-mode button here. You press the V-mode button and everything sharpens up. It gets more exciting and more fun, which we'll talk about when we're discussing what it's like to drive. So the interior of the Escalade-V matches the Platinum. It's got suede headliner here, very comfortable seats, massage up front, heated and cooled. Entertainment screens on the headrest here for the second row, captain's chairs. This one is an ESV, so the long one, very spacious and massive. There's the regular wheelbase one available too. and we are now actually approaching some curvier roads, which, given my experience so far, the Escalade-V handles very well, which is not something you would initially expect. You look at something like an Escalade, I mean, it's big. You'd be like, dude, that thing's got to be like a wallowing land yacht through the corners, right? It'd be like trying to autocross an aircraft carrier, but no. Somehow they're able to take this thing and allow it to actually handle its weight and size shockingly well. So we have Magnetic Ride 4.0 as standard along with air suspension. V mode will drop the air suspension 20 millimeters for better handling dynamics. And with Mag Ride and the tuning for the suspension and everything, this thing strikes a fantastic balance between handling well, given its size, girth, and everything weight, but also being comfortable, so it doesn't become uncivilized. When you're in tour mode, this thing is still smooth and comfortable. Now we're getting into some of the curvy roads, and I am in an ESV. I've been driving an ESV all day. This is a over 6,000 pound luxury SUV, and I'm on some curvy switchbacks now. The map is getting more and more squiggly. This is a road where I'd be like, all right, I want to take like a Z51 equipped C8 Corvette. Instead, I have an Escalade-V ESV. All right, so we mentioned some powertrain details already. I'll do a quick recap. 6.2 supercharged V8 with the larger 2.65 liter blower on top. 682 horsepower, and 80% of peak torque is available at 2,000 RPM. Whoa, okay. Can't believe I'm hustling a vehicle that can seat 7 in absolute comfort on these curvy roads. It's on 22-inch wheels. We do have larger brakes up front, larger brake rotors with 6-piston Brembo front calipers, because with speed you also need stopping power, which this definitely has. Whoa, the actual tires are the same as the regular Escalade. 22-inch wheels, unique design for the wheels, but the actual tires themselves are the same. The Escalade-V has a true dual mode exhaust, and I'm gonna actually roll the windows down just a little bit for you to hear some of the noises. Do you hear that? The sound of that supercharged V8 echoing off these canyon walls. Just a bare hint of supercharger whine. The noises this thing makes. That's not something you'd expect looking at the Escalade-V. I didn't realize it would make these types of exhaust noises. And the dual personality is so impressive. On my drive out here, I was in tour mode, Super Cruise was running, so full hands-free with enhanced Super Cruise, automatic lane changing. You'd come up across a slower moving vehicle and it would decide to check the blind spot, indicate, make a lane change, pass somebody, and then indicate and lane change back, all on its own. That's full hands-free Super Cruise. It's seriously impressive. And then you get out here, put it into V mode, and this thing actually enjoys corners. More so like larger, like longer sweeping corners. I mean, it is still 3 tons, but I by no means am like freaking out here taking corners at the lowest speed possible. Like, man. So it was really interesting to hear the Escalade team talk about what they had to do to apply the V badge to the Escalade, right? It wasn't just dropping a massive engine in it. There's a lot. The V badge means something. They've built a brand off of it. They've had multiple generations now. And with the CT5V Blackwing and the 4V Blackwing, those are extremely track-capable Cadillac sedans. And they had to balance the luxury and refinement with all our performance. So the Escalade is not full track capable. I mean, it is still a 6,000 pound luxury SUV, but they needed to make sure it would earn that V letter. So we have electronic limited slip differential, the mentioned magnetic ride, retuned dampers, transmission, all-wheel drive, full-time all-wheel drive system. And with the V mode, the bigger brakes, This thing is capable, man. I've done launch control a handful of times now, and every time it made me giggle. The noises are probably what stood out to me the absolute most. The sounds from this exhaust, hearing it echo off the walls, the pops and burbles when you're in V mode. And then when you put it into Tour, there's a stealth mode for the exhaust. It can go silent, neighbor-friendly, not crazy loud. You just have the barest hint of supercharger whine. Again, a more refined Cadillac Escalade experience. So it can't be screaming its head off with a super loud blower. But knowing that this thing has the same size supercharger as a C7 ZR1, you're like, whoa, okay, and at almost 700 horsepower. What the heck? Oh, what? And when you hear this thing from outside, there's a bunch of these Escalade-Vs on this media drive, and I was standing there just having some coffee and hearing another one go by full throttle. Wow. It honestly sounds like a C7 Z06 or a CT5E Blackwing went by, just in SUV form. Now, in terms of value, it's not inexpensive. But if you look at how much an Escalade Platinum costs, the last couple that I spent time with have been right around 115,000 points. So just a Escalade Platinum. And this starts at 149,990, so just under 150 grand. The ESV I'm driving is a couple $1,000s more, like 152,990, I think. So call it 150 grand, and they come pretty well optioned. There's only a handful of things, like I think some enhanced trailer package because it can tow 7,000 pounds. Super Cruise, I believe, is also an option, late availability for the market. But at 150 grand, you get a fairly, actually not even fairly, very well optioned Escalade-V. What do you compare this to? Really, there's nothing. The GLS 63 AMG is not quite as big. It's, I guess, the closest thing we'll get to it, because I can't even imagine Lincoln doing a performance iteration, nor do I really see the Grand Wagoneer, and those are kind of the big three American full-sized luxury SUVs. It's a body-on-frame truck, really. And then the smaller things out there, when I say smaller, they're still SUVs, but like a Lamborghini Urus, a BMW X5M, a Jeep Trackhawk, they don't have anywhere close to the size, the poshness, the opulence and scale of an Escalade, right? Are those faster? Yes, a lot of those will do mid to low 3 seconds, 0 to 60. The Urus is very, very capable, but again, nowhere close to the same size, and also costs a lot more. A Lamborghini Urus is $250,000. An X5M starts at, I think an X5M competition is 115 grand. But this is the Escalade-V. This is in its own class, really. And I can tell you guys, the experience is remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. Is it worth it? If I had a big family and I love cars like I do, I would be very tempted to get one of these. Fuel economy is something to talk about. So we've driven this one 245 miles today, 13.5 mpg. My last 50 miles are at 14.5. On a highway cruise, I was able to see mid to high 17s mpg, just Super Cruise, 70 miles an hour, driving along the freeway. So are running costs going to be high due to gas? Probably. But you're also buying a $150,000, 682 horsepower supercharged Escalade. So don't complain about gas prices or how much gas costs. It's very hard to rationally justify a vehicle like this. The regular Escalade with either the LT1 or the Duramax is a fantastic luxury SUV. I really like the diesel in it because it gets really good efficiency and makes the same amount of torque, and you get all the luxury features of the Escalade. Super Cruise on the freeway, massage seats, the great sound system. The V just takes it to the next level. The hilarity is added, but it has a dual mode personality. When you're in Tour mode, just comfortably cruising, the air suspension still absorbs bumps. It's isolated. You have the great sound system, and it feels like a regular Escalade Platinum. And then you put it into V mode, and you have exhaust burbles like you're in a sports car, and it is so fast that it will put a huge grin on your face. I've said this before. Large vehicles like this enhance the feeling of speed because you know the mass is there. It's huge, right? It's defying the laws of physics. So the fact that it does what it does is even more exaggerated. You're just like, is this vehicle really doing what I just did? You like kind of have to second guess yourself. Then you do it again. You're like, yeah, this thing is that capable. I've been doing this entire video here talking to you with massage seats going, cooled seats going. On the way here, the sound system was fantastic. What a machine. Escalade inspires a lot of brand loyalty. I believe the statistic for this generation was 60% of buyers didn't even bother cross-shopping. So that brand loyalty, because I mean, the Cadillac Escalade is an iconic American brand. You think iconic American vehicles, the Corvette, the Mustang, Escalade, F-150, right? These are some of the things in the auto industry that are just staples. There's always going to be one of the coolest experiences out there. And I've been very fortunate to get to experience pretty much the full range of the new generation Escalades. The regular gas V8, the Duramax diesel, another gas V8 with Super Cruise, and now the top tier Escalade-V ESV with Super Cruise and everything on it, right? So this is the Escalade-V. It is a ridiculous machine, and it is so epic that Cadillac has finally brought the V treatment to their full-size flagship luxury SUV. You have to experience it to really understand it, because something of this size shouldn't be able to do what this does. It's astounding. This thing is so cool. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed this review of the Cadillac Escalade-V, the 2023 Supercharged V8, 682 horsepower, enormous luxury rocket ship. Make sure you check out the walk-around video too that we'll have on the channel. I am looking forward to spending a week living with an Escalade-V at some point. Thanks for watching.